Hello one, hello all, it's the most luau ghost of them all, Caspa in the flesh, and it's time for a review of Meridian Brothers' Mi Latinoamerica Sufrí. I hope I said that right. Meridian Brothers is a Colombian music project, culminated from the creativity and mind of Elvis Alvarez, whose name I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, and over the years has brought in wild, eccentric flavor to cumbia, digital cumbia, salsa, and mostly Latin music in general. Also, based off my research going into this is coming from a conceptual landscape, as this brings a absolutely demented twist of 70s psych rock with combinations of Latino culture, African culture, with Afrobeat prog, Soukous guitar music. So pretty much molding elements of Latin music and African music together. Of course, it's Meridian Brothers, so they're going to be doing it in a very trippy and very strange way. But fun. Definitely fun and very trippy. It's going to be very trippy, mind-bending, very groovy at the same time, but also colorful when it comes to the instrumentation. Certainly do get expressive vocals here with a lot of variations and cadences. Definitely a different array of emotions and performances. However, when it comes to the psych elements, we're definitely getting different variations of psych here. It's not like Pink Floyd type psych. No, this is like Colombian, Caribbean style psych. Like, there's certainly moments here that makes me feel like I'm under the influence of something. And mostly due to the zany production and rhythms. I love the detuned guitar strumming, the layers of entrancing, bizarre strings, revolving around this hand percussion. And when it comes to the drums, they are very, very present here, playing alongside the bass with these echoed vocals. The whole thing feels like a Colombian acid trip. And the strings are played with a lot of personality, and the rhythm guitar is just arpeggiating through the track. Also, there's moments here where I feel like the instrumentation really creates visuals. Like on the manic Mandala. That probably has the most catchiest and grooviest hook on here, followed up with these chirpy grooves. The rhythms and instrumentations just feel so anxious, like they just need to be somewhere. It's like a bunch of cumbia robots having a breakdown. And I love the pumping bass, the frantic detuned strums, and the strings at the midpoint really add a very twilighty sci-fi flavor to this, which after the guitar break goes into some very intoxicating phases. And as odd and as left field as this track is, you can still very much dance to it. Also, I feel like the raspy spoken word monster-like vocals are a nice touch too. There's also moments where the hand percussion is even more booming, making a nice combination with the bass on the track My Pregunta, which may be one of the most colorful tracks here, with its honking guitars, nice drum fills. Also, I love the dissipation of the guitar melodies. But I love the breaks in between, as the lyrics depict these philosophies and questions to political leaders about their leadership, their policy. There's also the beautiful but tripped out En el Caribe, Estoy, Triste, which I know you guys are gonna destroy me in the comments for mispronouncing, that has the most brightest and fun instrumentation. But as bright as the production is, these probably feature some of the most saddest lyrics on the album, which I felt was a stroke of Meridian Brother genius. Also, I noticed the nocturnal synth bass and how bright the guitars are. It really creates that contrast of darkness and brightness, not only sonically but also conceptually. Mi acompañante, which has these squishy chords, which has these kooky, almost satellite ringing strings. The whole thing feels just so off the wall and wacky, mixed with the perfect amount of psychedelia. I feel like it's the equivalent of Shaggy and Scooby just did Colombian cocaine, and now they're high out of their minds having these hallucinations of a band of Colombian Kermits trying to contact them through a satellite from space. Mis Soledades is another banger and probably the most prog track on this whole entire album, with a very prog rock-like chord progression and probably the most passionate but also quirky vocals too. The whole thing reminds me of Richard Dawson if he combined his prog rock style with Afrobeat and Colombian music. The Achilles heel to me, though, is how off-kilter the instrumentation can be at points. While it is experimental and definitely off the beaten path, I feel the chords and progressions could come off kind of disjointed and even meander at points too, and doesn't exactly make for an enjoyable listen. Generally, I enjoy this album. I don't think it's as great as El Grupo Rosimiento, and I do wish the performances here were more consistent in quality, but I did really find a lot of tracks on this album to be enjoyable. And I didn't really find any tracks here to be offensively bad, but certainly pale in comparison to the highlights here. Also, I do give this thing credit for meshing together these vintage mixtures of genres and different cultures. I thought that was great. But again, I wish that they really pushed the envelope more here. But still, definitely a decent album, and I'm honestly curious what their next venture is, if they are to go above and beyond with the approach that they took here. I'm feeling a 3.5 out of 5 on this album, but if you've given this a listen, what'd you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And, it seems like you have something to say.
Well, it's more like a favor.
Alright, what is it?
Can I do the outro? Please let me do the outro.
Alright, you can do the outro.
Alright. Okay, yeah. This is his channel. This is his opinion. This is what he thinks. He's your pluggy. Hit him with a subby. Bada bing, I'm out of here.